Well, it didn't take long for the power cube to come on once the salamander had been fired, and the salamander is set to 50. It took about 5 minutes and then shut off. It was quite warm in here. It eventually climbed to 53. Now it's starting to drop. That's at the unit, obviously. Here, because the power cube's running, I can get my thermometer going. It's 44 is what that says. We'll see what it gets up to when the salamander kicks on again here in a minute. I would like to, I may leave that on here for a short time even after I'm done and leave, because I would like this place to get up to the point where it is sort of 50 degrees continually, and we'll see what it gets to overnight and monitor it and see where it's at tomorrow morning. So we've just completed the second cycle of the salamander. Sounds like a series for solipsists. Second cycle of the salamander has gotten this up to 77, but now it's rapidly falling. It's 72, it says. It's very warm in here. It's actually warmed up a little bit at the other end where I've left the door open because the sun is shining. There's a warm breeze blowing in because it is probably more than 40 right there. The thermometers here say we're just about 50. Well, that's coming down a bit. The task of moving the firewood was not that onerous. I've got a stack here, got a stack by the boiler. I have no idea how long a third of a cord will last. We'll find out what it takes to get this heated once we get it heated. I am going to... Now I can use the pallet jack to move this over off to the side where I wanted it, and that'll leave a central access so I can wheel the salamander out and put it in the bucket of the skid steer. Later I'm gonna have to wait for a colder day because I know for a fact if I were trying to come around here with the skid steer, there had been 3 feet of snow here. Now it's melted down. It's packed to about 18 inches, half volume. If I were to try and come up here with the skid steer as warm as it is today, I would turn that to ice and probably not have difficulty getting back out with this stuff. So I might try that after dark or something when it's chilled down a bit in the next day or so. I do have to be mindful that I have bales to pick up over in Thomaston, and I want to get them before the ground thaws and softens, so that has to happen probably next week or the week after. And I also bought some more bales because we're not going to make it with quality silage. I bought bales down about 50 miles from here from a friend of ours, and I can't find anybody to truck them here. So they've got to be picked up out of the field where they're at on Thursday and Friday next week, and I still have not been able to find anybody who could commit to being hired to pick those up for us. So that's going to be a bit of an issue. In order to get through the winter onto grass without having to feed a ton of supplements at this point, I need some better quality silage than what I have over in Thomaston, which is late first cut. And only about 8% protein. The cows really need that 12, 14, 16% protein that the stuff I bought is, and I think that's what the stuff I'm buying is. A much higher quality, much better silage. So I need to get those over here somehow. I bought 50 because the price was right, so I don't know what it's going to cost to get 50 here. It may have to be a semi-load or something. I don't know what that cost would be. Got the firewood stack. Got away. I moved that pallet of firewood out of there, and I got a way to get salamander out of here. And I'm going to leave that salamander running for a little bit today, just to try and warm things up a bit more down here. Get this thermo sending unit to be able to Wi-Fi me a signal, and we'll see what happens. I don't want to work down here today. It's warm, it's nice out. I want to spend some time outside, and I've got the work to do up in the barn that also has to be completed. So I think I'll do that. I'm headed next door to get milk from a cow. All right, it is Saturday the 21st of February, and we've got 6 inches of snow on the ground. So I gotta go plowing first thing. If I can get this machine started. It went down to, after a week of temperatures in the upper 30s, well above freezing, we have last night that was in the teens. And it's windy today, so the whatever temperature it is out now, cut that by 5 degrees because it is bitter. I should be wearing a warmer coat because I'm going to be in the skid steer plowing for a while. It should be plenty warm. Hello, snowy beasts. How is baby? Okay, still got water. How you doing in there, Bridget? Yay! Hi, Ganymede. Love. Hey there, Tethys. Well, so far I've had luck getting the one bucket off so I can put the snow pusher bucket on. Wasn't sure I was going to get the regular dirt bucket off. Let's see if I can get this snow bucket attached. Alright, hooked on and ready to go. Not exactly how I wanted to start my morning this morning. Plowing the driveway, digging out everything, especially after we lost a day yesterday helping the neighbors out. We're gonna see what we can do to help them today, and probably going forward their lives were pretty disrupted by that fire. Ah, shit. The heifers are out. I think the heifers are out. Can you get a bucket of grain and I'm going to plow the way down there? Damn it, the snow and the heifers are out, or going to get out. Maybe they aren't out. Maybe it was just an optical illusion. I don't think they're out. Just one of them looked like they were into the small orchard on their way to the big orchard. All right, they're not out. Oh, great. That's huge. All right, I'm gonna go back and tell Allison. Ground's so soft it just plowed up a bunch. out, they're not out. Just put it in the bucket, I'll take it and deal with them. It sure looked like they were out. I couldn't see any of the flagging tape. I thought they were over the line. They're just right there. Sorry. I just wanted to catch them before they went everywhere. Allison freaked out, and the fire yesterday didn't help because, yeah, it didn't help because we realized we don't have a fire plant. Now, our neighbors aren't livestock farmers, but they do have chickens and some hobby sheep, and they had their dogs. So they were lucky to get most of the chickens out and their dogs. So that was a good result. I guess all right, we need to back this wagon up, I guess. Yesterday, we woke up and we're just starting coffee. And our morning ritual of pastry, I'd walk the dogs and he'd come in, and Allison called me to say the neighbor's barn was on fire. So, why am I dragging plastic wrap? So we leapt into action. She was chatting with the neighbors. I made sure that they called 911 because sometimes in an emergency you panic and you start thinking about all the stuff you got to do, and they were trying to rescue dogs and get the chickens let out of the barn, and hey, turns out there was probably an electrical fault, something they had just plugged in, or a wire was compromised that they switched on the light or something. Anyway, there was some kind of a electrical fault that caused the fire, but it happened fast, and so I verified that 911 had been called. Yes, it had been miscalled into our address, so, and publicly proclaimed that way. So we started getting a lot of people asking us about helping and our livestock at the farm, and we're like, no, it's next door. So then we immediately arranged to go over and activated the kind of community network here, local neighbors on a group chat, and we went over there with dog leashes and started getting the dogs out of they let them out of the barn and the kennels because they run an agility training. They had an agility training course up above in the upstairs of the barn. They weren't livestock farmers anymore, but they converted the barn to other purposes. And so the dogs had a kennel in there, and so they got the dogs out, but they just let them out into the backyard. So we all had to go over there, and there were several dogs. They had to be caught and put on a leash and then put in crates in their cars. Their cars had to be moved out of the way because they were parked in front of the barn. By then the fire department was arriving, but the fire was gaining. What had started as a kind of a smoldering burn, it started to gain momentum. And so by the time the fire department was there and set up and ready to go, the fire was starting to really gain traction. And it was such a tragic loss. The whole barn went in minutes, but thankfully the department was able to save the connecting L in the house. And there's going to be a little bit of smoke damage and some stuff there. But yeah, so anyway, we realized we don't have a fire plant here. I mean, in the 10 years we've been here, and certainly now that we own the place, we need to have that in place. This is just a dramatic and unfortunate reminder that shit can happen at any time, and we need to know what our plans are. We need to spell them out and make it available, and probably have the fire department come do a walk around, because that's how they know what's here, should they ever come. That's a standard kind of thing you do for a business anyway. And so we've got to start making a plan to that, and we'll be helping the neighbors out over the next while they're trying to get their lives sorted back out. All right, I'm going to keep plowing. The heifers are happy with the grain I gave them. And get this driveway plowed. So we have some things. I got to go to the feed store today, and got some things to do out in the village. It being a Saturday, and the snow sucks. We're gonna get more on Monday. We're just had. Is that better? Oh shit! The driveway thawed out, so I'm now dragging a lot of stone around. We've been a couple weeks in the 30s with sunshine, no precipitation, and things were starting to melt. We were just starting to see some real dramatic snow melt, and I was liking the progress we were making. But now we got 6 inches today, and it looks like we're gonna get 6 inches at least on Monday, which is not cool, because I was looking forward to spring. Really need this weather to stop. At least it's warmer. It's going to be at the freezing mark today, but that wind is going to be killer, and then next week it's going to be in the 30s, and I think 20s overnight, so not above freezing, not at freezing at night yet, but during the day. But we're also, by the end of next week, we've got a lot of sleet and rain and things in the forecast, so not quite sure how that's going to play out. So it's Sunday the 22nd of February. I'm just getting ready to feed the front heifers and bring them water. We've just dropped in on Bridget, who we noticed last night may have been tilting her head a little bit. And this morning I thought I saw a pronounced head tilt. That can mean several not good things. She's bright, she's alert, she's energetic. We've just given her a full exam, and she seems okay. She's got bloody scours, which is something, unfortunately, we struggle with about this time. We're 15, 16 days. So right around the 2-week mark with calves, we go through about almost every batch of calves where several of them, in this case there's just one, have bloody scours. So something's upset in her digestive tract. She's got some bacterial infection, some contaminant. We've been treating that with supportive things like electrolytes, extra water, cut back on her milk, and just gave her electrolytes. Right now, we just drenched her with some Nutrigen to help establish some minerals and vitamins and things, that we're giving her probiotic. So we're just going to monitor her. It's about all we can do right now, because there's no confirmed cause of what she's going through, but it always sucks to see a little calf like that struggle, but she seems bright and energetic. So we just hope that this is a bout that we can move her through as quickly as possible. And unfortunately, there aren't any other calves right now to catch it, and so we're only treating one. But yeah, so we're just getting into the day right now, and we're expecting about 14 inches of snow starting in the morning tomorrow, and that's going to be a mess. I am so done with this winter. Other than the snow coming and the fact that it was supposed to actually start today, today is a glorious day. It's going to be about the freezing mark. Yesterday, I think it got up to 32 freezing point, but it was bitter wind. So I actually didn't get anything done yesterday, really. Just taking care of livestock and doing chores and doing my training sessions on the Smacks Tech system. Other than that, running some errands. Didn't feel like doing much yesterday. It was after plowing the snow, which all went away. I mean, it got warm enough yesterday, even with, and probably because of the wind, everything melted and evaporated, even though it was so damn cold. But yeah, so we're not looking forward to this big nor'easter bearing down on us. I am so sick of the snow. So sick of worried about these heifers getting out. And it'll be at the worst possible time, because that's the only way that happens. This week, Theoretically, we're getting the silage delivered that I bought. They're hiring somebody to haul it here because it's about 60 miles away, and I don't have a truck or a trailer, and that's been a joy to try and get that moved around. So hopefully the snow doesn't impact that, because I am running out of the bad stuff, and hopefully the stuff that I bought is much better. Oh, we don't want to do this yet. Anyway, shit. No. Gonna go feed Monday, the 23rd of February. We're expecting a blizzard barreling down on us with anywhere from 3 to 28 inches of snow. We don't know. It's tracking east, fortunately, so it looks like the brunt of it's going to miss us. It just depends on if it decides to carve back in. It's supposed to start snowing in an hour or two, but the wind will cut you in ribbons. It had been, it's supposed to be 30 today, but I think the wind chill is around 0 right now. It's freaking cold. And we're fighting the usual things. Hose deployment, ice, frozen everything. Plus we're getting ready for the blizzard. Plus tomorrow I have to make a trip first thing to the processor with the trailer and the tractor. So that's not looking forward to that at all. Oh, it is not pleasant outside this tractor cab. I am going to warm it up. Now I've got to hook it up to the horse trailer because Mimsy's going with the Polar Express tomorrow to the processor. We couldn't find a buyer for her, and I'd hope to sell her to someone who would use her as a family cow or breed her to a mini Jersey or something, but everybody had issues. And many people called us and said, well, could we get her in the spring? No, we can't keep her here. She's a fence jumper. She's a fence breaker. She is a nightmare. She's been beaten on the horse trailer. We're moving her along. So tomorrow she's got a one-way ticket on the Polar Express to Iceland. And since she's been caught and in the horse trailer, the other heifers have not even approached the wire. And I hadn't done anything to improve in fact, we've had a lot of bad weather too. And right now we're in the middle of a blizzard. So it's just ramping up. The wind's been here since we got up. It started up about 4:35 this morning, and it cuts you to ribbons, it would. And so the snow's only started in the last half hour or so. Before, the wind was stripping the snow that we got off, stripping the snow that fell a couple days ago right off the fields and spreading it all over like it was snowing. But now we actually have wind-driven blizzard falling snow. I'm going to give the heifers in the front field a bale. They don't really need it, but I think they need something to shelter around since the horse trailer's occupied. I'd throw it in the field in a heartbeat today, but with Mimsy in there, I'm not going to risk them getting out. In fact, I got to hook the trailer up today. Now, it's about 1 o'clock. I'm going to hook it up because I'm going to test the lights and everything, because while the trailer was in the field with the heifers, they bashed the wiring box and pulled some wires out and stuff. So I had thought when Allison told me we had a date for Mimsy that it was on Thursday. No, it turns out it was Tuesday. And it didn't get put on our shared calendar. So when I was making my plans for the week yesterday and Sunday afternoon, I thought I had till Thursday. I was like, great, we got this blizzard. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to do any of this work. Anyway, so no, it's tomorrow morning. And I have to call the processor back. I tried calling them earlier, and they weren't answering their phone. If this storm is bad and we get a lot of snow, because it's now later, but it also seems to have shifted further east. So now we're in the 3 to 6 inch band, where before we'd been in the 18 to 28 inch band. So it's anybody's guess, and it's also going to be anybody's guess because the winds are supposed to be worse later on. whether we have power in the morning when we get up, whether the processor is going to have power, and whether they're going to have everything set for an early morning cattle drop off. So I need to be prepared to go first thing and to plow the driveway and get out of here and because it's a 40-minute trip there with the tractor under good circumstances. I better allow an hour tomorrow in this weather, so I've got to leave here around 6:30 at the latest. So yeah, so I gotta be prepared to do that, whatever. But I also need to know what their plan is if this is bad. I mean, if for some reason the storm doesn't track the way it is now, and then it cuts back in, then we could really get hammered. So yeah, I really wish this date had been on Thursday. It would have been much nicer. So anyway, well, we've been 5 minutes. I think I better let this tractor warm up a little bit more. And I'll go throw a bale in the field for the calves, heifers, and then I'll get hooked up to the trailer. And I should also need to run down and double check the cows are feed, have a good amount of feed before them. Today's Monday, right? So yeah, I lost a day somehow. It's Allison's cheese making day. She's over helping out the neighbors get hooked up with the other neighbors' internet because they're not able to go back in their house because of the barn fire. All the power's out. The house is pretty heavily smoke damaged, so there's gonna be some remediation, and they're waiting on insurance and stuff. So she's over there getting them hooked up on the other neighbor's Wi-Fi and get their computers working for them. And she's got to come back home and make cheese. And then we decided, she thought about waiting until tomorrow, but if the storm's getting worse later today, we made the decision to make the cheese early, today, normally, in case the power does go out later today. And she's going to make the cheeses that she makes that don't require as much vat power. So it's just kind of, we have a generator for the house that's no problem, but we don't have a generator for the creamery and the dairy. So well, they didn't really need that bale, but it'll make them a lot more comfortable. They can hunker down the lee side of that and get some shelter from the wind. They also could be eating it. They won't have to be nosing around on the bale that they spread out all over the ground the other day. All right. Got the heat on in the cab full blast, but it sure doesn't feel like it. At least the windows are clear. Oh, there's some heat. All right, now I gotta. Oh, the snow on my face was stinging. I gotta hook up to the trailer now and see if I can make the lights work. Some of the damn it, something's going on with the heifers. I was just paying attention to them. Some of the lights on the trailer work, some don't. I gotta go find out if the heifers are trying to jump over the fence into the main field, which they can get out of. God, they're tearing around the field like crazy. I see a bag. I gotta get that bag off the fence. I cannot tolerate the heifers going out. If they get out today, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. We don't have anywhere to put them. Handling system, I guess, but this is gonna be a nightmare. Yeah, there's a bale wrap has blown off of somewhere and is wrapping around the fence. Oh, and they're just tearing around the place, chasing the wind. Oh, this winter is gone on about 10 months too long. Go on. Why? Why you gotta be so wound up today?